Welcome to the Fandom Foundry show, all about why people continue to game after many decades. Their life changes, but they still find gaming still a great part of their life. That's called Why We Play. And I am Todd Oxtra, your host for tonight's episode, joined by Lulu to my side. You can see her. I'm not using a background anymore. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll go back to it. But at this point, you get to see my cat. And well, don't look too close. Maybe it's X-rated. I don't know. But I'm joined by someone that I have podcasted with many, many years and in different venues. And that is Mr. Jason Marshall from DearGamers.net. Jason, how are you doing?
Good, Todd. Yeah, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th different podcast, maybe at this point. We've
maybe, yeah. I mean, because I think the first time we ran into each other was probably with Matt Keel.
Yes.
One of those shows.
Yeah. And then my show, Nerds Gone Platinum.
Yeah.
And then Secret Friends. And then Co-op.
Yep. And now here. Yeah, this is kind of the new gig, the new thing, the show that's focused on gaming. It's less about the news and what you've been playing, more about talking about people why, when gaming was introduced to you, obviously a hobby, and now it's been, part of your life for so long, and you continue to do it. Right. So that's really why it's kind of figure why is gaming, capture your imagination, and then, will excite you about the future of gaming. But before we do that, Jason, a little introduction to yourself. And, one of my questions I've really started enjoying is gamer tags. So what is your gamer tag and why?
So my gamer tag now is Redacted J, and there's a funny story about this. So when we first met, I don't know if you remember, it was Gimpy J. So back in college, shattered my tibia and fibula, tore tendons. A college friend of mine at the time, I was on crutches for about 4.5 months. So I have titanium in my leg. So Gimpy, the moniker, it made sense, was on crutches. So it stuck, graduated, kind of picked that on every platform I could after college, Steam, PlayStation, kind of. One birthday, maybe 3-4 years ago, a friend gifted me something on Steam, and I guess Gimpy was flagged. And the email, if you've ever been emailed by Steam with a gift, it says, "Dear," and your tag, "You've been sent a gift." And it came up as all asterisks and symbols that it was bleeped out.
Been redacted.
And I was like, you know what? Let me just see if this is available. I put that in. It was. Then lo and behold, a week later, Nintendo flagged it. So I was like, all right, I'll change it there. PlayStation was the only one that didn't, but I went ahead, changed it there. Blue Sky came available, put it in, changed it on Twitter, and it just was like, you know what? I actually like this new one. Better.
Yeah, gamer tags, rarely do they follow your whole life because things change. You pick poorly, you don't like it anymore, you're just, something else finds you. And when PlayStation finally allowed you to change your name, it was pretty cool. And on Xbox, the reason I changed mine is because, mine was always T Oxtra probably, or something dumb, LWH 1993, which was my high school in the year I graduated, which was dumb. But now it's either T Oxtra, but now it's actually Spartian is typically mine. I went to Michigan State, and then because Spartian, sometimes I need to put a year in it, then I put the year I graduated from college. So there you go. That's why that's there.
I grew up in the AOL era. We had the worst screen names ever. I mean, if those carried over to our gaming tags, I'd be mortified. Like, what's your gamer tag? And it's like, nah, with all the capital, lowercase, capital, lowercase.
Leet speak or unfortunate names of that, you picked when you were a kid because you're like, that's so rad. And it's like, no, it's not these days. I'm now how old? Doesn't exactly fit me in that fashion. But yeah, and Xbox just happened because Jay, the whole there was a hack with Game Pass at a time where you could convert for free, I think, whatever Xbox Live subscription you had to Game Pass Ultimate at one point.
Yeah.
For whatever. Like they just converted you. And like, so there was a thing where you could get like so much Xbox Live months, and you could get up to like 36 months, but you had to do it right.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, it didn't work. So I did it wrong on my old account, which was, I believe, Teoxtra, maybe. And then I'm like, it didn't work. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make this work. And so that's when I got mine. So basically I lost, I don't know how many years of my achievements and whatever, but you know what? It's okay. I've recovered. So long live Spartian 98 or 1998, depending on what wasn't taken at the time. So with that, Jay, let's get into a little bit about, how you became the gamer you are today. So, everybody started somehow with gaming, and, whether it was gifted to you, you went to an arcade or whatever. How did that start for you?
So definitely started with the NES, but I was young enough that I have bits and pieces, but no fond. I probably played more NES games now or in the past decade than I did then. But I do. So my favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy VI, and I remember playing on the Super Nintendo when it was Final Fantasy III. And I remember I was supposed to be maybe studying for a test or doing homework, and I would literally just hit the TV button while the Super Nintendo was still on. Nobody saw the little light, and then my parents would leave, turn it back on, start grinding away at levels. Went to Nintendo 64. Then I kind of jumped into. I experienced PlayStation 1. I babysat for someone, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." But then I went to college, PS2, 3. Kind of skipped all Nintendo after the 64 for a bit. Like missed the Wii U, the Wii U, GameCube. I kind of missed that whole because it was just doing PlayStation. Played Warcraft for on and off for 20 plus years, so I missed quite a bit on the console side, exclusive wise. But now I do PC, Switch, PlayStation, retro. It all came together as one, and now I don't really gravitate towards just one anymore.
I can understand to a lot of people why they stuck with something, because unfortunately, when you're a kid, you may not have bought your system, or if you did, and then how many $5 a week allowances can you save up to get that game?
Hey, that's why we had Blockbuster.
Oh yeah, you'd rent your games, and it's like so, and then it was just you're dependent on probably somebody had to drive you, and it was once a week, and and then you're like, oh, if that game didn't have a save in the battery, because a lot of games had saves for battery for that, or a memory card back in the day. Some people didn't have memory cards, so it's like they could only play as long as they had it for rental, and then all the progress was gone. So it was limited, and that's why a lot of people had allegiances, because that's what they had. But to your point, I was the same boat. I missed a lot of gaming because I had an NES. I rented systems in high school because my money went to girls, chasing after girls and, that stuff in high school. And then when I got to college, I needed a PC. So that's when PC gaming, I would say at that point, it was getting better. I mean, I was still on like Windows 3.1 gaming. It wasn't even Windows 95. So it was pretty limited. But then CD-ROM gaming, when I upgraded my PC to CD-ROM, and it got better. So then I remember my first console as an adult was PlayStation 1. And the only reason I got that was because it was a graduation present for college. And my girlfriend at the time and my friends all pitched in as a graduation gift. So that's how it led me to PlayStation. Because I could have got, Jason, I had the choice, N64 or PlayStation. And I'm like, well, I'm familiar with all the Nintendo games, but when I looked at all the PlayStation's offering, I'm like, these are all brand new, and the experiences just look so different. I'm like, why not? And the game that got me is Tekken 3 at the arcade.
All right.
The Tekken 3 in PS1 was just as good or better, because then you had all those cool cutscenes, all the extra characters. So that's what got me back into it. So yeah, after that, it was just, hey, I was an adult and then I could afford things. So I'm glad to hear that, I think a lot of people, if you can afford it, playing all the games everywhere is amazing. But I totally get it. Nowadays, we're back in that where things are very expensive again, and you may be limited, right? Which is a challenge.
Oh yeah, no, I get that people stick to. I mean, like you, I played on PC. I played the first Resident Evil on PC with an MS Sidewinder gamepad.
Oh, those were horrible. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was a big problem with PC back in the day. I think people always thought USB was a thing or whatever that.
Right.
But you had serial ports or PS2, like not the PlayStation 2, but like this thing called a PS2, which was a round, weird circular port that typically your keyboard used and your mouse used.
The mouse. And
something similar.
And trackballs. People don't even.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean,
cleaning them out.
I had the Gravis gamepad, and if you remember this, it actually came with the PC port of Mortal Kombat. Okay. And it was horrible. And I think it used a serial port, which is the serial port was like, it looked like your old printer where you or your old VGA. It was not good. And they even gave you like this little, because it was a standard, it looked like an SNES controller, but then you would screw in like a little joystick into the D-pad to make it feel like you were playing. It was bad. So that's that's where. Oh, here's a picture of it, Jason. I think everybody's gonna get to see this wonderful thing. It's not a great picture, but that's what it looked like. Yeah, you'd screw in that little guy. You had 4 buttons there. I think it had 2 shoulder buttons, and
they tried to go like with the SNES color scheme with the buttons.
Oh yeah. I mean, then look at this thing. Oh my God, look at that thing. The Gravis Exterminator. That's so horrific.
And it's amazing now. All controllers, they're not the same, but they're the same shape. We had so many.
Oh yeah.
Like Genesis introduced the 3 buttons in a row, and it was like the Super Nintendo was so different. And then, obviously Nintendo's experimented every generation, but now they're all that same shape. Like the DualSense, the Xbox, the Pro Controller, they're all that similar. So it's like we went away from that.
I mean, you think about the Atari 2600, a stick with 1 button. Then you've got this thing, the Gravis Analog Pro PC, that almost looks like you could use it for like a flight simulator, but also, I guess, try to use it for other things. And there was no consistency, to your point. There was no consistency. I mean, then you got like the really interesting flight sticks. Do you remember what the Jaguar gamepad looked like? I mean, we're talking about, it was the Wild West. Look at that thing. How many buttons? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And there's no analog sticks. I mean, so I would say people complain about like, oh, this controller is worse than that. Like, they're so close to each other now. Right. It's pretty much offset sticks or aligned sticks or analog triggers or digital like Nintendo. So
and the biggest thing is the layout between Switch and everything else, which is AB or BA. The switching, but even now, some control.
That throws me off.
I use a GameStar PC controller, and my buttons are magnetic. I can actually swap them to be AB or BA
smart.
if I want. And there's a little toggle I could switch. I can use it for my Switch. So because sometimes you haven't played in a while, you have to look down and you're like, no, that's the wrong button.
Yeah, and I will tell you, PC gaming was always pretty much mouse and keyboard. And then I think it was the Xbox 360 controller eventually got PC support, which was a big jump, and then the Xbox One. So it was a big deal. But the challenges with a lot of people now that controllers like a gamepad with Halo and all those things, it's kind of like gone away on PC that most people use gamepads. But some people still want the flexibility of a mouse and keyboard. Well, I got this, Jason. Are you familiar with this?
I have seen that.
So this is the Xbox. It's basically their controller option for their adaptable controller for people that need adaptations to play. And what makes this kind of cool is you can use this for control and still use it with the mouse. So essentially, rather than a keyboard, you can do everything like this for movement and like that, but use the mouse for precise shooting and things like that. I'm like, so that's what I've been waiting for, something like kind of like allows you to, because to me, I like analog motion. A keyboard is digital, so it's not great for me. There's like to do jumping, it just not feel right. So you know what? Let's be very thankful that we have so many options now.
Oh yeah,
we're not stuck with one, and so we're an interesting space, and largely we've kind of conquered that. I'm not sure what's next, but I will be curious to see if anybody figures out like, oh, we've been doing it wrong all along, and there's another way to game, because we've done waggle, we've done our body as a controller. I mean, at this point, and VR even, but that's now gone back to sticks. So
all the VR, all the different VRs, they still same basic. So
they're not using the the PlayStation wands anymore.
I still have them.
The Move wands, and it's like, that will now be your control system. Well, Jason, you play a lot of games. That's something I don't think a lot of people know. You are very good at gaming, but you're also, I mean, fast at gaming too. So a lot of people like myself, I would say I'm not great, but I'm also get highly distracted. So I have a hard time just focusing and always like, oh, time to. I get distracted by something else. So, but you do reviews on your website. You play a lot of games. You get a lot of access. You know, when it comes to it, like at this point, how do you choose the games you play? Is it what interests you when someone offers you a game? Is it curiosity about hearing about a game, seeing a game? What's kind of that? Because there's so many games you could play with your time.
So being our own website, and it's a hobby for us. This is just fun. So there's less pressure. Generally, I mean, we use a few websites that act as the go-between. I kid you not, apply to 40, 50 games every quarter. Just kind of like throw it at the wall, see what sticks. But it's mostly in the genres or the type of games that I like. Like I'm not a big fan of visual novels. I don't do point and click. So it's more of I pick and choose. We do focus a lot more on indies because it's just the code access. I don't think I've ever gotten a AAA code. Maybe once or twice, but like I would get it. Oh, the embargo's tomorrow. It's like, yeah, don't worry about that. I'm not going to finish this by tomorrow. No. But some AAAs or some indies I'll get like 3 weeks. Like, hey, here's your embargo, and it's like, oh, okay. And this was the 4th year I went to PAX East, and I've made a lot of contacts. So there's all these developers. They're not. It's not as daunting as you would think. They want you to play, and they would rather you say, "Hey, I don't have time." I was like, "Okay, that's fine. We don't want to force it." So my co-writer, she does more. She's big into accessibility now, which I think is super important. You mentioned the controller before, so she does a lot more features. She's into JRPGs and that, and she'll cover some of those, but. Usually, I stick to, I mean, as you know, and I know you're not a huge fan, roguelites are they're my bread and butter. So it really goes from there. And then I branch out like maybe Metroidvanias, few FPS, but the roguelite genre has exploded to the point where it's a subset of literally every genre. Like there's even the game of chess as a roguelite. Like there's sports games as roguelite. Like so it's everything. So it's kind of nice
because Blatro, which is poker, is a roguelike because you're doing a run, and
it's kind of. I'm glad I like hooked onto it when I did. So now if it says roguelite, I'm like, okay, you have my interest, and then I'll just check them out. I mean, Metroidvania is probably my favorite of the roguelite, the main genre. But I'll try anything really. I mean, But I'll also branch out. I mean, like I said, it's a hobby. So there's games I'll play on the side that I don't review. I don't feel like I have to only play. That's why I play so many games, because if I'm not reviewing anything, I'm just going to focus and go through and play anything I want while I'm waiting for a review. And sometimes I go through spurts. I'm not reviewing anything this month. I'm taking a break.
I think that's healthy, because so much of what gaming becomes it's either I've got to play the most newest, greatest, latest games. So it's like what's coming out, and then you maybe have to rush through the game you're playing so you can get to the next one. And you want to feel like you're getting your money's worth, but you're not falling behind what everybody's talking about. You also don't want to get spoiled. So there's a challenge with that. And especially now that you are doing reviews, you're doing articles, you're doing, awards, and which all takes time outside of just playing the games. And I think that's important. So that leads me to another question, Jason. And that would be, because you talked about the wide variety of games you do enjoy. You have your favorites, obviously. You are reviewing games. You have a partner that also plays games that are complementary to each of your interests, which is great, because then you don't have to feel like I have to play a genre where, you may not be in love with it, but maybe you could find some enjoyment, which means that you may not be able to pick out those specifics of the genre that a lot of people who are fans of it will get it, and you'll be like, I don't get that. Maybe you're like, I don't like the way they talk, or I don't like the fact that there's no voice acting, or wow, that was really weird and strange. But it's like, no, that's part of the genre. It's just you either are or aren't, or it clicks with you or not. So at what point do you decide as a game, and you've rated games that you liked? There's been games that you've been like not so hot on. So let's put it this way. It's not a game that you're reviewing, so you don't feel like you're committed to completing it. What point do you decide a game is not for you? I know Chris John from 1 Hour, 1 Decision, he was at PAX. I don't know if you guys got to see each other or not. But he did a great job of his show is they play a game on Game Pass. They pick it every week with their partner. They play it for 1 hour, and they make a decision on it. Just randomly. Like, am I going to continue or not? Obviously, an hour is like, wow. Some games do even get to the gameplay because there's cutscenes. But he was asking people about like how long, in an hour of a game did you feel like giving up on, or something like that. So obviously an hour is obviously an extreme version, but I mean, what's the point? I've always had a thought of like 10% seems fair, because I just feel like, is it worth your time, especially if it's a 100-hour game? And someone tells me it takes 80 to get into it. I'm like, So do you have a rule, or does it matter?
I think it depends on the genre. So if it's obviously I mentioned roguelites, I need to hit that loop. So I need to see. So if it's a roguelite, but it takes about 2 hours, which obviously might be an extreme, but to get to that loop, I'm gonna play till I hit that point where basically you have that, you die, you get resurrected, and you repeat. I need to see how it's incorporated. If it's a roguelite, I also feel like the term is thrown around too much.
I was going to ask you. So before we keep going on about it, I want to so for you, roguelite and roguelike, obviously Rogue is a game where it was all about that, kind of defined a genre, and then everybody said, okay, let's do something with that theme, or that perspective of, wow, all or nothing. And then people have had different versions of it. So when you say roguelike and then a roguelite, what's the best way to say it really quickly? It's this or that.
You'd be surprised how it's a pet peeve. I see people post like, oh, it's a roguelike. I'm like, but is it? But the best way to understand it is, and I'll take an simpler game. Minesweeper is a roguelike, Like.
Mm-hmm.
You play, you die, new game. That's it. There's no.
It's like a lot of our old arcade games, right? Yeah. You put your core. If you don't continue, you start from the beginning. You collect nothing. Yeah.
Roguelite, or it was pointed out to me, run-like, RUN, because it was basically every time a new run. Those you get stronger as you go. Like
Okay.
an excellent example of recent, I reviewed it, Jupiter Hell. It's basically Doom, but a tactics-based Doom. So it's like a top-down. It's a rogue-like. He intended it as a roguelike. Like you die, that's it. You start over. So with those, it's really if I enjoy the gameplay, because those there's no loop. You die, you start over. So if you can't figure out, yep, this is it.
Okay, I'm getting. Oh, I like the graphics. Let's see. Let's get in some gameplay though. Okay, I'm looking for the gameplay. Okay, so it's top down,
It's
isometric.
one
I
of
guess
those
is the best
you
way to put it.
move, they move, you move, they move.
Oh, okay, got it. Yep. Okay.
So it's top down, but it's not. You don't have free move. Like so, you see, they're moving,
Okay.
you're moving. Like, but once you die, you start over. There's no meta progression. There's nothing like that. So that's the so. But if it's a rogue light, it's really when you get to the loop. Like what happens when you die? Like what do you carry over?
So for an example, what is your favorite rogue light?
Dead Cells.
Dead Cells. Okay, Dead Cells is a game that I try to get into. It just wasn't for me. I'm not into the run and then start over. If you get to a point, obviously you're learning, you're doing those things, you are getting better. There's improvements. So if it's just really, can you stick with it? And can you find some fun along the way? Kind of like Hades is a game where like, I appreciate what they're doing, but I get more frustrated. I'm like, I'll move on. So, but Dead Cells, yeah, that's a game that just came out of nowhere. And then they had the Castlevania DLC where I'm like, I'll give it a try again. I'm like, oh no, I won't. So it's just, I just know it's not for me. So Dead Cells, anything specific about why it's a game you love?
I like the incremental getting better, that it's not just 5 runs in and like you're invincible. Like you can almost feel your progression. Like, oh, I got to this point. Now it's like, oh, I got to this point. Like you could sense how you get to, like, it seems like daunting, but then like by the time you're done, it's like, oh, that was a 25-minute run. I'm done. Like it felt longer, but you only spent 25 minutes, but you're slowly getting better, but not to the point where it's like say like an Assassin's Creed where you wander off the path, kill thousands of enemies, and then you're like, you could one-shot anything. There's still limits to it, but you can sense the progress. You don't feel a run is pointless. Like unless you die like immediately, like just mishaps, falling poison, not paying attention. But like if you're slowly making progress, you feel the progress versus just like if you hit your head against the wall. Like I'm not doing anything. This is. And I like the challenge, and also Dead Cells. I love platformers, side scrollers. It's got the Metroidvania aspects, so it's really everything I really look for in a game. And actually, I'm reviewing the Rogue Prince of Persia.
Oh, okay, got it. Yep. Is that by the same company?
So it's by Evil Empire, who handled the DLC for Dead Cells Motion Twin. They handed off the last set of DLC to Evil Empire, and they're doing the new Castlevania game, which is in the fall.
Which is not a roguelite. It is truly a Metroid. Well, it's really a castle Metroid, or was it Metroidvania game at its heart, which I'm excited for because I totally get it. But I think they already scratched that itch with the Castlevania DLC. So I'm glad they got to do that and then still make a game that's because Castlevania needs some love. And, I'm glad it's coming back. To play with this, Jason, the roguelike I really enjoyed a lot.
Fantastic.
Rogue Legacy is so fun because it's obviously different every time because you get like basically you become like the next generation. You get like a weird addition, which to me made it so much fun because it was obviously like, it's dark, it's black and white. Everything's moved backwards, or you're huge or you're tiny, and or you use gravity. It's so ingenious, right?
I think I look for this in a roguelite. Like, what's the gimmick? Like, what's the catch that makes your game unique? And if that works well, that keeps me playing. But if it becomes just, I mean, sure, there's simple platformers. They're just platformers. But I might find enjoyment, but it's not going to be like, oh, I need to know like your gimmick. Like, what makes you different than every other roguelite? And this one, I mean, and the fact that they came out with a sequel with even more hereditary
options and variety. I mean, just
your genetics affect your, like, now you're nearsighted, now you're farsighted.
Oh, I appreciate, and it seems like, yes, when you look at Steam now, almost everything feels like I'm just expecting it to be a road. When I don't, I'm like, oh, good, a game for me finally. That's okay. But I think difficulty has found a new fandom.
Yeah,
which is great. I think there's something for everybody.
It's similar to everything's a Souls game, but is it really?
No, like it's like the element. Yeah. It's like it just hard?
You light a bonfire. It's like, okay, but what
are you rolling, right? Is it rolling and pairing, or what are like that's always the things? Or is the storyline so bizarre you have no clue what it says, and it's like, oh, you did this thing, it was never explained to you, and well, find out. Yeah.
I feel those tags on Steam get thrown around too much that and then you have a person who, I hate Souls games, I don't want to play this, and I see the tag, I don't want to do this, and it's like, but that's not fair, because maybe you would like Liza P is probably my favorite Souls adjacent.
My son absolutely loves that game compared to even all of the From games.
Yes, and I love all the From games, but I felt Liza P still had its own unique feel to it. So it's like, but someone would hear Souls-like, and it's like, okay, I'm not interested. It's like, but it's faster paced, it's different. There's
a lot of personality too.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, you get like a different type of story than you do in a From game. From game is not giving you story right in your face. It's making you find it within the world, and that's not for everybody either. So yeah, I mean, there's no limits really to a lot of these genres now. I mean, because I mean, all these people that grew up on these genres now are getting to make all their own versions.
Yeah. To bring it back though, generally I'll not so much suffer through. Maybe I just get lucky with my taste and what I choose. Sure. I use it, but this one might surprise you. I have tried 4 times now. I can't get through Hollow Knight, the first one.
Oh,
but Hollow Knight
interesting
is coded for me. It's
absolutely.
But for whatever reason, something else will be like, I'll be like, oh, I want to play this instead. Like, and I've been trying, and I don't. So I think it's I don't think there's a hard and fast rule. I don't think it's okay. I'm going to take an hour. I mean, I think it's a great idea for a show. You play an hour, you make it. But as far as like, it's not like, and I feel with Steam, there's so many demos now. If something,
absolutely.
Like if it's not an IP I'm familiar with, but it piques my interest, they run Steam Next Fest 4 or 5 times a year. I'll try to focus on. I might download 70 demos, but there are ones I really want. Like if it's coming out, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna try this, and then it's like, you get that taste right there, and it's like, okay, I'm done for now. I'm getting this. That's it.
It's interesting.
Though, I've finished. That's my. There's only been.
I think that's the decision you make, and not everybody does finish the games. Some of them feel like they say, I got a feel of what this game is doing, and that's enough. But I mean, if you feel like I have to finish it, hopefully all the games aren't too long.
I mean, like I said, I do mostly indies, so 25 hours is usually reaching the top of what I generally. 2 games since I've been reviewing, I haven't finished. One was literally broken. The dev apologized. They're like, we're sorry. There were so many bugs, and then I lost save. And I'm like, I put it in the review, but I'm like, I can't. And another game was just so terrible but it turned out that they gave the wrong code out. But by the time, and then I went away after I had it done. I'm like, I'm not. No, you wasted. And it turned out I found out through IGN actually. They had the report. IGN ran a news article about it, and it was like, oh, we got the wrong code. We don't know if the developer apologized. Everyone got like a pre-release build, and it was like, all right, I don't have the time. I'm going away. I don't know if I'm going to come back and do this. And
how do you get that wrong? I mean, you typically get one chance.
Studio. I know, super small, but it was crazy because it's such a small studio. But IGN was covering it. But then this was probably 6-7 years ago, so we didn't have a million podcasters, a million content creators. So you got some of the smaller games did get covered by the bigger sites.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because studio needs a win. They've got, and sometimes you only get one chance to get the light of reviews and to really get you an audience, and to not get that right. Wow. Maybe the game is the best thing ever, but doing that could probably just means that you don't get a second look or a second chance. So Jay, you mentioned a couple of games from your past or current, or recent, I would say, games that mean something to you. So what's a game or character that you feel like is something that you couldn't see your gaming life being without?
Final Fantasy 6/3.
Right.
I don't, and it's weird because I don't gravitate towards JRPGs. I
don't either, and 7's one of my favorites because I had a lot of time and I had a PlayStation.
Like if I looked at my entire catalog, if I can have it, if someone could show me every RPG I played, I couldn't even picture it passing 50, 60 games. Like it's not something, but 6 for whatever reason, and that was maybe it was because it was so early on, I didn't know. There wasn't such a choice, and it was like, I don't even recall, maybe it was Nintendo power that got me to play it.
I mean, maybe because at the time SNES was obviously a huge system, and I remember just going over to a kid's house and they had Final Fantasy. It was actually a girl I was seeing, and her little brother was playing Final Fantasy 3, I guess 6, whatever.
It was 3 at the time. It was the localization.
And the sound was beautiful, and when you saw like the airship on the overfield and like the different, like I forget what the Nintendo technology, the parallax scrolling or whatever. I mean, it was so cool looking at the time. So I'm like, I can see why it really stood out in that era.
Yeah, I've carried it with me. You're familiar with boss fight books?
I think so.
They do they pick specific titles, but they do like something. Like, so I actually got to review the author of the Final Fantasy VI one. He covered the music because the music from Final Fantasy VI is like, it's up there in the pantheons of.
Oh yes, I do know this. I interviewed a gentleman who he has some books published by them.
So I got to interview this author, and then I don't know if there was a game last year, Quartet. It's an RPG by Something Classic. They're heavily inspired by that and Chrono Trigger. So that I feel like I stick with it. That's like, if it's Final Fantasy VI adjacent, I'm good with the RPG, but other RPGs, no.
It's pretty amazing because even though I've never played this game, I know everyone talks about the boss and certain scenes, and this is the game where you don't you like suplex a train or something like that?
Yes,
which makes total sense in a game. Hey, why wouldn't you? If you had that ability to. But that's amazing. Well, thank you for that. It's sometimes people don't know the games that are important to people because they're like, oh, I would have not have assumed. So thank you for sharing that with me, Jay.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
It's obviously different than what. I mean, you've seen reviews. I do. You wouldn't think I'd pick an RPG,
but I think when you've gamed this long, right? It's like what's in your formative years, what's in your current time. You have kids. Sometimes those games become specialty because the time you share with them, and as they get older, their tastes in gaming, if they keep doing it, will grow. It'll be far different than yours sometimes. And like my son, and he's 20 now, and it is really interesting where sometimes they introduce you to games where it's like, oh, this is cool too. So with that, you're pretty open-minded, Jay. So and excluding the one genre you already talked about, what's a franchise or genre you have FOMO for because it just you want to love it and you want to get into it and everybody's so excited for it, but it just doesn't work for you no matter how many times you try?
Obviously, I mentioned Hollow Knight, so and that whole Silk Song.
Yes,
I would if I play Silk Song, I need to finish Hollow Knight, but I feel like I would love Mass Effect, but I think I missed the boat when it came out, and then I did play Andromeda, and I know that's a terrible starting point, and maybe that soured, but I feel like Mass Effect now, it's one of those, it's hard to go back to older games. Like, even with the nostalgia, you go back to a game and you're like, I don't remember it like this. Let's put it down because I don't want to ruin my memories. So Mass Effect's definitely a series I would love to, because I see being in the gaming space that I am. I mean, I see the love for it. Like, everyone, like, it's just, they speak so highly of it, and it's just like, I need to just sit down, maybe take a couple days off.
Well,
lock myself in a room. I just need to play Mass Effect.
You know, it's interesting because it is one of my favorite series of all time. It's the reason why I got a Xbox 360. I tried playing it on my PC, but it had sound glitches and did not work. So a buddy of mine at work said, "Hey, you want to borrow my Mass Effect game, my copy on 360?" I'm like, "Sure." So I used my final fantasy football winning and got an Xbox 360. Unfortunately, I got the arcade edition, which was the super cheap one, but it didn't come with a hard drive or 4 gigabytes. So I'm like, oh, bad decision. And then hard drives were expensive stuff. But I played on Xbox 360, and I'm like, oh, I'm all set, and I loved it. And the games, each of the games they changed so much with their gameplay, and even like Mass Effect 1 and 2 were, I think, Xbox exclusives, and then it finally came to PlayStation with 3, and they had a thing where you could I believe they would create your own past. Like you could make some choice and say, okay, that's what happened in the previous games, which I thought was kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, it's such a great game. But now with the Legendary Edition, I would say actually it's a great time to play because the game series is amazing. I have it on, I think I have it on PlayStation 4 when I got it. So great game. But yeah, I totally get it. It's one of those things. Sometimes you miss that window and you're like, too much stuff. And I gotta sacrifice something to play this.
The Witcher series, I've played all of them, but I don't have the appreciation. Like, I can acknowledge 3 is a phenomenal game, but I don't have the appreciation that I see other people like. And I've read the books, I watched the shows, like, I like the property, but I played the game, I had fun, but it's not something like, oh, I need to. It didn't it didn't have that lasting for whatever reason. Like, I enjoyed them at the time, but it's not something like, okay, like, you play a game, you enjoy it, move on type. So that's another one of those.
I think it's fair to say not everything has to be your favorite, right? It can be, I enjoyed it, I moved on. Because it's hard. I mean, your tastes change, and this may be somebody's favorite because it's the first real big RPG they ever played, right? So maybe that's why it's their favorite, and then they just had to absorb everything. A lot of people have that with Skyrim and other games like that, or maybe a fighting series. There's so many options. So I appreciate that because, it's not like it's horrible. It's just like, sometimes it just is. I don't have that much love in my heart. I only can love so many things so much, and it's fine. I appreciate it, but I'm not going to say it's the best thing ever. And that's, I think, good. We should allow people to say, some things, I appreciate it, but it just didn't get me the way it got other people.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's titles I could replay repeatedly, and I see people replay other titles, and I'm like, no, I'm done. It's like, like, yeah, sure, it would be great if I could replay this and not remember it, but like replaying it and I already did it, and it's there, like, it loses. Obviously, the surprise is there's no shock with the story, but it's just like there are some people who just, and I guess it's the gaming equivalent, comfort food. That's their
absolutely reliving those moments that are important to you.
right. Yeah,
But it's very hard when it's like an 80-hour game and replaying it again and again. I'm like, I don't know how people have the time, but if that's their thing, cool. Which leads me to a question of you grew up with gaming. You're an adult. You're playing games, but also managing, a relationship with your spouse. You have kids and all these things. And then I asked you the question: how do you go from gaming as a hobby to then say, I'm going to have a website, I'm going to podcast, I'm going to review games? I mean, it takes a leap, right? I mean, because everybody says, oh, I'd love to do that, but not everybody does that, and you're doing that. So what was that like? What was the drive to say, I got to do this? It's part of me now, and I need an outlet.
So one of my closest friend, who's my best man, he's my oldest's godfather. He would always come to me for the gaming because he knew I'd go to IGN, GameSpot, like I had Game Informer when it first started. Like he knew I was more knowledgeable about those. And he said, why don't you write about it? So I did. I actually started a blog, but this was early social media. So it didn't really take off, but it was a nice outlet. I even did a few movies, which is not really my fourth. And movies are hard because movies there's only so much you can say without spoiling. Like games, I could talk about a
Absolutely.
game. I could talk to you about Final Fantasy VI for 20 hours and not even spoil anything. A movie, it's like, there's a 2-hour window. Like, what do you say? And then after that happened, it was just a nice outlet. Like, and I also, in my actual jobs, I've always had to write. Like, I was a surveillance investigator. I did workers' compensation. So I would have to write reports.
Finding out why the guy can't work, and then you see him out in his yard,
So I was writing reports.
Yeah.
I'm currently a paralegal, so I'm constantly writing. So writing was a natural thing to me. So when I got asked to do Nerds Gone Platinum, the spinoff of Nerds Gone Rogue with Moose, I met my current my co-founder of Dear Gamers. She knew Moose, and she wrote for an outlet, Obelisk. I'm sure you remember when I used to share some of that.
Yeah.
She became my editor because the guy who founded the site, she was one of his editors, and she basically she was my editor. So once that shut down, we started Dear Gamers. But it was just, it grew, but I think keeping it as a hobby kept it. I never had like illusions of grandeur, like, oh, if I pump out 4 articles a month, maybe I could start freelancing. And I met people who freelance, and they're like, yeah, if you want to keep this as fun, like, don't do it. Like, it's too much stress. Like, you'll submit something and you'll get like $7, but then you won't hear back for 4 or 5 months. And I was like, you know what? I like doing it. I'm gonna play the game anyway. I have the outlet. It's enjoy, and I like I think I like it better than the podcasting because I'll post it and people will comment. Like on Blue Sky, I'll get comments, but it's like it's not just great review. Like, it'll be like a back and forth, like, oh, I didn't really like this part of the game, but I love this. And it's like, then there's that back and forth, and you get to talk more about it. I think you mute.
Oh, I am. It makes a lot of sense because certain people can say more through a review than they can with a podcast, because a podcast can turn into a lot of different things and it gets distracting. And, that's why I feel like, for me, I didn't want to go back into the grind of what the news is, what you've been playing. I enjoy those podcasts, but I just realized me doing one of those is probably not going to help not going to help me really do something creative that is passionate to me. So writing something like that, my wife is an author as well in her spare time, and it's her passion. I'm like, when somebody asked me to write a review, I would be paralyzed because I don't know where to start. Oh, I could talk about this. I could talk about that. And by the way, I don't take great notes. So I'm like, I don't even remember half the stuff I did. It was cool. So I'm not the best person to talk about why a game is awesome. I can give you those guttural feelings, but I can't tell you because of X, Y, and Z, the structure of those things. Just not for me. So it's great to have.
I actually write my reviews. And that seems odd in this day and age.
How dare you? You're taking work away from AI, Jason. Oh, my goodness. Oh, and by the way, I think I have it here. Let's see. Do I? Oh. Let me get it out. I think I've got it. Oh, I do. So I mentioned Chris John. He writes his work. He writes his, he does his reviews and his website. And they created a Game Pass journal. You can buy it on Amazon. Yeah, it's basically write notes about the game and elements of other thoughts. Keep it, pass it. Yeah, it was $7 on Amazon. It's very cool. And Chris always laughs at me because I'm always talking about it. I'm like, but it's a really cool idea because I remember back in the day you get a game manual and you could write notes in it.
Yep. The last few pages had the line pages and they were blank.
Or you got to write all your continue codes or something like that, or remember that room, and So the fact that taking notes in a Game Pass journal, really cool. So maybe a good idea if you, Jay, if you want to do a merch, you could be a gaming journal for their gamers, because
it's funny. As my birthday and Michaela's birthday were both last month, I got her a Persona 5 notebook, and she laughed because she got me a Super Mario notebook. We knew because we both still handwrite, and it was just funny that we gave each other notebooks for our birthdays.
Those are really cool. I forgot what it was. The album I bought. Oh, Bruno Mars, the new album. It's vinyl, and inside of it, it's the old school, those writing journals that are kind of black and they have the binder on the side.
Yep.
So I like that it's my son's the same way. He likes to take physical notes, and it's just for him. So I'm like, and he's going to be a music teacher, so he writes a lot of he does a lot of composition and all that fun stuff. So well, very cool. I think we need more people writing. We need more people with critical thought, getting it down on a medium where it's not just a quick bad take on the social media that doesn't really drive a conversation. I think reviews are important because they help people make informed decisions. Because I always say this, I know a lot of people say, well, I don't want to listen to a review, I'll make up my own mind. How can anybody filter through all the content available today without helpful people they trust guiding them to help them save their time? And I always say this, time is the most valuable thing we have in the world. And I'd rather find my next favorite game or movie or comic rather than wade through all the crap, because there is a lot of crap. There's also stuff that just isn't for you. So it's do I want to waste 20 hours on something that's probably not for me, despite everyone talking about how awesome it is, like Baldur's Gate 3? I know it's an amazing game. It's just not for me. And I felt so I need to get it. I bought it on Steam, Jason, and I never touched it. Never installed it, and unfortunately I was past the return time. So I'm like, I have a Steam family, and I'm hoping someone will eventually play the game on Steam because I feel like I bought it. Someone play it. So we'll see how it works.
It's hard to find because there are so many reviews out there. There are just so many YouTube reviews, and it's just you have to find the ones you like that kind of speak to you. I don't like the ones that just say, I hate this. It's not for me. That's not useful to me.
That's not value added.
And then you get their fan base who starts spreading that, oh, it's terrible. It's just a real quick example, Fallout 76. I got it at launch, put 100 hours in, absolutely loved it. And this was before they made the changes. Now it's a hit. People love it. But I remember so many people bad mouthing it, but didn't play it. It's like,
oh yes,
how do you bad mouth a game you didn't play? Like that's just like it's like yeah, it's like you if you were to bad mouth Baldur's Gate 3, you just told me you didn't even play it. Like how you have literally no authority. It wasn't for you, but you can't speak on it. And it's just
no, and I shouldn't, right?
There's so much
I mean,
of that in the gaming space that I just feel like that's why like when people respond to my reviews or even Michaela's reviews and I see it, it's like it's nice because you see that back and forth. And being that it's written, obviously someone had to read it versus just skip through the YouTube video, look for your timestamps.
Oh, that is tough. I mean, and I do agree that and we're unfortunately we're in an era where there's not we kind of missed that opportunity to have kind of like the era of these are the best movie reviewers, and you always clung to their opinions
Yep.
and you knew what they were going to talk about. Or, hey, this is the golden age of video game magazines where these were the writers of these reviews who were amazing, you know? We kind of missed out on that because we changed so much as part of the digital medium that now it became it's a YouTube short or it's you got to watch a streamer talk about a game and you watch him play it. And it's not because the game is good. You just like the personality. So that's why you buy the game and play it. So it loses something in context about like why games matter, what they're doing that's unique and interesting. And then it also becomes like the cost of it, the hours available, and there's just a unlimited amount of games available, whether it's PC, mobile, Netflix, gaming, wherever you play. So it's like, how do you filter through?
And there's always that sect of YouTubers. Oh, there's nothing to play. It's like, are you out of your mind? There's nothing to play. It's like you get anxiety from the amount of games that are available to play.
Oh, yeah, it's the analysis paralysis. I used to say it's like, okay, well, what do I play next? Well, I could get into this game, but that's going to take 85 hours. But this game is coming out, so I don't want to get myself into the loop. So, yeah, it gets challenging. So I think if you can find a voice you like, and that's sometimes hard, but I think that's where it becomes very important to recommend. Hey, who's a good reviewer and who just reviewed that game? Put it out there on social media. Say, hey, you want a guy who knows this stuff about this? Check it out. So Jay, if I know there's going to be a roguelike or a Metroidvania or something that's very hard, and you've reviewed a game, you always share your reviews. So I want to make sure those get out there. So, and do a better job of letting me know so I can share it out in my socials and get it into the other Discords that, I'm friends with. And because I think we need more people elevating the people that are not getting 100 million views. And I always feel like we need more voices versus less. And we don't need kind of the same discussions over and over. I want new, fresh discussions on gaming.
And I think it's important. I mean, I'm not the expert on it, but if you want to do it, don't think of it as I'm going to make money. You have to approach it like this isn't a get rich quick. Like, sure, you may go viral, but like I said, I still do it. I don't have any interest in because I don't have the time. I have the time to do the reviews. I don't have the time to do the advertising to the point of I want to sell my reviews. I want to review 20 games a month. Like if you approach it like that, I think it suffers. And then you end up creating the clickbait and it's just like I click it and I'm more angry that I clicked it, but it's like, really? This is what you're putting out there?
Yeah.
Like you're not helping.
Yeah. And that's yeah. And I hate the people then that just continue basically to just repeat that message versus actually getting it. I mean, because we know video games has alliances, they have fandoms, and it feels like, well, I don't hear that. I think this group is worse. I'm like, well, yeah, because you're in this fandom, and that's what they focus on is the negatives about that. And it's like sometimes get out of your own echo chamber and just see what else is out there, or maybe you know what, watch a video about penguins and just get get that palate cleanser. So with that, Jason, really quickly, in regards to reviewing, if you had any recommendations about someone wanting to do a game review, what would you say is a good way to approach that and then find a way to share that?
Definitely. I mean, I started with a blog. I did WordPress. WordPress is the easiest entry point. And then I wouldn't share it everywhere, but share it where you're comfortable. Like I know it's daunting. Like I still get scared sometimes to share it on Reddit because Reddit's notorious for either being super helpful or they're gonna rip you apart. But
because everyone's so all about being themselves on Reddit, right? Everybody uses their real identity because they just want to be helpful.
I mean, and you can even not share it. Do it as an outlet to you get, and then share it only with like a few friends. Don't even tell people. Just maybe because, like, I find now I know how if you read like my past 20 reviews, they follow a structure. I wasn't at that structure when I started, so you have to get that, and you can always change obviously how you write. There's no reason you don't have to stick to one. Like you go from A, B, C, D. Like it's fine to change up, but like I think you start small. I think you can't have, like I said, illusions of grandeur. Don't expect to. You can't go into it like this is a pyramid MLL scheme. You're gonna get rich quick. Like do it because you like it, and then find what, like I know we do it rarely. We do a TLDR. We made like a little template. We don't do it all the time. We do it a couple times a year. Maybe that's your spin on it. You do your own take on it, like the pros and cons, instead of writing out.
Sure.
Maybe you don't want to write paragraphs. Maybe you tackle it from a different viewpoint. I don't cover technical stuff ever. I mean, because I don't feel comfortable enough telling, like, other than like Rogue Prince of Persia, I'm going to mention it. The load time on the Switch is, I kid you not, 35 seconds longer than the Steam Deck.
Wow.
But the game runs fine all
the
time. So it's not like I just want to point it out, but it's like, maybe
that's helpful to understand. Like, should I play it on the Switch or a Steam? If I have both, that's helpful to know. Like there used to be the whole thing, should I buy the PlayStation 4 versus the Xbox One version? And it's like, is it going to really matter unless it's really bad? Like, is it running at a ridiculously bad resolution? I think Switch ports, to a large extent, people want to know, is it playable or not, right? Is it even stutter? Is it like 10 frames per second? So I think there's like simple things to say. If you like games that you don't even notice the game, like the frame rate, because it's smooth, you'll like playing it here. But you're not looking at doing a frame counting or whatever.
It's really just finding what your style is. I think that's and just kind of, I mean, I happened upon meeting Moose and Jeff, did the podcast, met Michaela, and it went from there. It might take longer. You might go viral with your first article or first video, but like you kind of have to just find, and there's free resources out there. Like I said, WordPress, and like I said, we use Press Engine terminals. They're like PR firms.
Great way to get codes, right? Yeah. Put yourself out there.
And the number of free codes they give out without applying is astonishing. Like my inbox is, I've had to create filters just because I need to find an email about my daughter's school, and there's 20 emails about random games coming out, press releases.
I think those are great ideas. Maybe join a Discord that is about gaming and put yourself out there to say, hey, I want to write a review. If I post it here, would you guys look at it, have some feedback?
I think every Discord I'm in, everyone has a content creator, share your stuff. They all have that. And I mean, obviously you're going to get fandoms or Discords or communities that are harsh, but I've discovered more are not like you would think the Dark Souls community, like the whole get good. But if you go on some of those forums, the people are so helpful. Like, oh, you need this sword instead.
Well, they want people to like the genre, right?
Yeah,
they want more fans of it, and hopefully
I think
they realize
the negativity is the louder one, so people make this. But it's an easy way to get into like games media. I mean, it's super easy to get into it. It's really what you make of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if anybody is listening to this and is interested in that, Jay's online. Reach out to him. He can give you some hints and tips. And part of the reason why I do the Fandom Foundry is I want to make a space if people want to write reviews, they could put them on our website. I have no problem with that because I'm not going to do it. And I don't have any, thoughts of writing reviews. But if that's something people want a space to do, I want to give people space to do it. So if you're interested, let me know. And obviously I can find a space and make a review area within our website. And it's there for the coming. And obviously I want to make sure it supports the brand, positive, doing the right things. But if there's a person who wants to review stuff, perfect. Would love to talk to you about that because that's something I don't do. And I would love to have people putting out reviews on my website. Why not? And if it helps you get noticed, you have a space, great. Awesome. So really quickly, Jay, give me one thing you're excited about the future of gaming.
Oh, man. I mean, there's so much games wise. Just the variety. You get like a unique thing, and then the next year there's just something that just catches fire. And I enjoy when other people, like I didn't play Expedition 33, but people loved it. And it's like, it's different. It was different than what's been out, but also it was familiar too. So it's crazy what catches fire when it does. Like Blueprints. I don't normally play puzzle games, but that's a roguelite in a sense. And it's just like, it's just exciting to see when a new something new comes on that's different than your standard. And it's also exciting to see more representation at I hate the Game Awards. I can go on a rant, but
they are a challenge to a lot of people.
I watch it more for the previews. I don't watch it for the like the awards,
I think most people do.
The awards are just so like you're gonna get your top tier games and you don't get the game, and then people they're not notified of these smaller titles. Like there's the occasional, like last year probably had more indies than normal, like Blueprints. Obviously Hollow Knight's in there. But
I think was Ball Pit, was that nominated? I can't remember. Okay.
I think it was nominated. That's a fantastic game. And that's such a different, I grew up, Alleyway was my favorite Game Boy game of all time. So like Ball Pit made Alleyway like a city builder / roguelite. Like it's such a weird mashup, and it's like exciting to see like those, because I feel in this medium there's new stuff constantly. Because like in movies, it feels like lately, like sure, there's unique movies, there's great movies, but you get a lot of reboots. I feel in gaming,
reboots, IPs, remakes.
Sure,
it's a requel, whatever. 20 years later, now we get the sequel that we didn't get.
Sure, gaming, we have plenty of remasters, remakes, and there's audiences for, but there's also plenty of other. Like I was just at PAX East. The number of games coming out that have unique ideas that are just so different than your. Like I saw one game. It's a twin stick shooter. You're a robot who delivers mail in a neighborhood.
Love that.
So you're just timed. It's not really violent. You're literally shooting.
You're just shooting out newspapers.
It's I said to the guy, I'm like, so Paperboy as a twin.
Paperboy.
And he laughed like it was like.
Are there dogs that will chase you and like cars you run into? Because that's Paperboy was a horribly hard game. I don't think I ever got past like the next level because a dog would hit me or
or you think you're in a clear and then you have to cross that 6-lane highway and then
no horrible.
But it's just like
Frogger, any of those games, it's like, oh yeah, you can only get so good.
So yeah, I'm excited for like the unique ideas to get, and I feel like indies have more of a voice. Like gradually, they're more common. Like they're not as what games are there to play? It's not just Call of Duty, Madden. Like indies are getting like the award shows they're silly. They might not get the awards, but there's I think enough people, and if you talk about them online, you find other people, and then your timeline becomes that more. So it's kind of nice and exciting to see.
I mean, Kyle Stevenson, he works with 6-1 Indie. They do a great job. They have their own indie showcase. Kind of funny. They do their like all their games showcases. So it's great. There's so many more places to be heard and seen. Steam is a great place to get your games out on. And demos do a lot of heavy lifting. And you know, like there's a game this month that I'm so excited for. Replaced. That's a studio that you know went through hell, through war, doing something that's completely unique with a unique art style. Like that is one of the most exciting games I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I demoed a little more at PAX of that, and it's so yeah.
It's on Game Pass, right? I mean, that's the thing. There's never been a way to play games as cheap as it is now, as long as you own a system already versus buying like a new one. So, but I am so excited that, you know, like you said, we don't know what the newest, hottest, greatest game will be because it's probably not been shown yet, and it'll get a following. And it feels like these games just find so much heat so quickly that it's very exciting. So I'm excited for that. So Jay, what's one game coming out very soon that is on your must play list?
Definitely Saros.
Wow. I hope it works for me. I tried Returnal. I loved everything about that game except for the fact that I was horrible at it, so I gave up. But I loved everything about that game.
I mean, that's one of those studios, they release something, I'm gonna play it. Like it's like one of those things like, oh, here's our next game. I'm like, sold.
I mean, talk about a studio going from what we would say simple looking games to something that I feel like is just amazing looking, has a presence, and also incorporates some really amazing dual sense, you know, that extra sensory pieces that is just amazing. And to be able to do that, who knew?
Returnal was probably the first game I truly experienced wearing the headset, the sound, the haptic, all that, like
the raindrops on your head. All of that felt so good. And it was beautiful.
I will say, playing that game in the dark at night, there were some scenes where it was like, okay, we're gonna turn lights on. There are scary. Yeah. I'm good.
I mean, this just looks like bullet hell. Holy cow. Amazing. And you can absorb things. So what was that one shooter game that I kind of remember? It was like on the Dreamcast, where if it was red bullets, you had to use white bullets.
I know what you're talking
Ikaruga, I think is what it was called, which was a bullet hell shooter. And it looks like this game is doing so much of that. I'm like, I think I might be better at this than I was at Returnal.
I think a big thing with this is, because I know I've talked to friends who were like, well, I wasn't great at Returnal. I think a big thing they've pointed out, Saros, you do get better. Like, Returnal, there was no upgrades. Like, sure, you could find new weapons, but you still were the same person each one. You just had to kind of hope for the best RNG.
Yeah.
Saros, they've made it clear that every run you'll progress more, so you will get better over time.
That's great to hear.
So
that's great to hear. I know one of the things that frustrated me was like, I'd show up and I'm like, oh, I don't like that weapon. Oh, and by the way, they changed the layout. So I'm like, oh crap, I'm even going to the wrong place. So,
and oddly,
Saros is going to be,
that's one of my favorite things about a roguelite. Like, you get the wrong weapon and you're like, how do I make this work? Like that's
dead cells, right? Yeah, that's dead cells.
To me, that's like that. I love it's like that shot of adrenaline. Like, all right, I'm gonna get this weapon to work. It shouldn't, but we're gonna do it.
Yeah,
but
totally.
Saros is probably the biggest title. I mean, there's a number of, but Saros is definitely a day one.
Yeah, absolutely. So my birthday's next week, and the good news is Replace comes out next week. So I'm just going to show up because I'm so excited for this game. I mean, I love the uber sized pixels, the cyberpunk whatever look, and to me, it's like, wow, that's doing something really cool with technology in a lot of ways that we thought, oh, could we even get something like this? And I'm glad we're doing something really cool with the graphics there. So that's Replaced. So very, very cool. So Jason, we've completed our journey through your life as a gamer. I'm very excited for you, what you got next. We've known each other now for quite some time. Very excited to see you go through this journey and what you're doing now. It's awesome. And I'm excited to see what you do next. And obviously, you're a great person. If people have questions and just want to know more about how you've done what you've done, I'm sure you'd be kind and and give them your own advice. So with that, how do people do reach out to you? Where they can find you around the webs?
Redacted J on social media, Twitter, Blue Sky. More active on Blue Sky than Twitter.
Yes.
Redacted J on PSN, Steam. I don't know my Switch friend code, but Switch friend codes are one of the most.
Nobody does.
Nobody
does.
But yeah, no, and then deargamers.net, all our contact info's on there. We're both pretty active through our Blue Sky. You could also email on the website. But yeah, deargamers.net.
Very, very good. Well, Jay, it was great to talk to you again. It's been a long time. You're part of our
Thanks
Discord, so I'm glad you're part of the Discord and we get to connect. With that, if you just want to follow me personally at Toxtra, at Todd Oxtra on both Blue Skies and Instagram. But more importantly, everything that I do and my partner Sean Nias is on the Fandom Foundry. At the Fandom Foundry and Blue Sky and Instagram. We have a website. We have a Discord. We have a YouTube channel. We are on all things podcasts everywhere. So check us out. And if you want to join our Discord, we'd love to have you. So with that, everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this journey. Jay, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your gaming history and where you're headed in the future, man. This is exciting. And definitely check out everything that Jay is doing. So with that, folks, if you've been a gamer, you know what? I salute you and keep on doing it because you know what? It's a lot of fun. So game on. Night, everybody.